Our next topic is about designing your life. As mentioned in our last lecture, financial independence is about more than just savings and investing strategies. It's about making choices that align with your true values. This section will discuss how FI helps support those choices. The FI movement is based in part on the premise that a traditional lifestyle does a poor job of matching our decisions to our values. However, that isn't our fault, as we are rarely taught how to make important decisions. In school, we learn extensively about topics that we seldom use after we hand in our final exam, topics like biology and calculus. In comparison, we receive zero or little training in key areas of our life: basic budgeting, choosing a career, saving for retirement, or raising kids. Personally, I took my first job because I happened to be walking by a prospective employer who handed me a flyer and encouraged me to interview. I didn't know anything about the profession, but it had a decent starting salary, or so it seemed to me at the time, and I ended up taking the job. I worked 60 to 70 hours a week in a tax firm for mediocre pay, and I quit within a year because I was miserable. It did teach me, however, that how I spend my time on a daily basis is an extremely important decision. Instead of blindly following the traditional lifestyle, we should ask ourselves key questions to determine how we want to spend our time. We need to be smart with our finances because every financial decision we make is a trade-off, even if we don't realize it in the moment. Ultimately, though, our financial answers should ladder up to our lifestyle choices. How we want to spend our time and what fulfills us are factors that determine our happiness and satisfaction. Let's take a look at how a traditional lifestyle might differ from a FI lifestyle. In a traditional lifestyle, you'll likely go to the best four-year college you can get into and accumulate the debt needed to make it through, believing that it'll be worth it in the long run. After that, if your desired profession requires graduate school, you'll attend, again accumulating the necessary debt. Even if law school costs $50,000 per year, you figure you'll make it work. Eventually, you'll graduate, get a job, and finally begin paying back that debt. And you'll need to get a high-paying job and work long hours to do so. As your career and your income grow, you'll likely begin the American dream. You'll get married, you'll buy a house, you'll have kids, and so on. Your lifestyle will grow with your income, and you might buy a car every few years as your family grows as well. And you'll want to have the latest iPhone because, of course, your neighbors and your coworkers do. Eventually, by the time you're at or near 60, you'll get serious about retirement. Hopefully, Social Security will still be around, and you can begin planning the life you really want, whether that's traveling, playing golf, or spending time with your friends and family. But let's face reality. You'll have spent the majority of your time for the past 40 years in your office with your colleagues, not at home with your family. To be clear, there's nothing wrong with this lifestyle if it aligns with your values. But FI argues that most of us don't value these things. Working long hours, spending our time in the office, making money for rare enjoyment on weekends and twice a year vacations. And while everyone should make their own value judgments, I, and others in the FI movement, care much more about spending time with my loved ones than having the latest gadgets and vehicles. In contrast to the traditional lifestyle, a FI lifestyle would encourage much more considered decision making. College and graduate are still attractive options, but costs are considered. A FI lifestyle might have you attend junior college for 2 years, saving over $50K in tuition, which over the long run would still compound to hundreds of thousands of dollars and shave years off your working life. School is still absolutely an option, but only if the tuition costs, which can be exorbitant, truly lead you to your passion and contribute to your happiness. Career-wise, a FI budget won't increase in direct proportion to your income, so that you'll end up saving and investing more as your salary grows. By following this lifestyle, if you want your retirement, if you want to call it that, can begin in your late 20s or 30s, allowing you to really begin living your life far earlier than a traditional lifestyle would allow. In 2012, a book was written independent of the FI movement that alluded to key components of the FI lifestyle. Bronnie Ware, a palliative care nurse, articulated the top 5 regrets of patients in the final stages of their lives. FI directly addresses 3 of those regrets. Number 2, I wish I hadn't worked so hard. FI allows us to spend less time working and more time with our friends and family. Early in my career, I met a coworker who told me something that will always stick with me. Nobody will remember the PowerPoint slides that I put together, but my kids will always remember that I coached their basketball team. I think that says it all. Number 4, I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends. Fi enables more free time to spend building and enjoying relationships with the ones we love. Studies have shown that meaningful relationships translate directly to increased happiness. And number 5, I wish I had let myself be happier. Fi encourages us to have a happier mindset by focusing on what we love to do, not fighting through commuting, working, and the daily hamster wheel, just so we can get tidbits of enjoyment on weekends when we're done with our errands and we aren't too tired. Happiness should be a daily habit, not something found only when other chores are complete. One word of caution: money enables happiness, but only to a certain point. Studies have shown that increasing income to reach basic needs like having a roof over your head and food on your table has a significant impact on happiness. However, beyond certain income levels, which of course depend on the cost of living in your area, money doesn't increase happiness. Having the latest tech gadget and upgrading your car from a 2014 Toyota to a 2018 BMW probably won't make you much happier, and certainly not worth the work involved to get that money. What are the key takeaways from this section? You have the ability to choose how to live your life, and norms should be questioned. Second, our financial choices often don't correspond well to our values, where most waking hours are spent working and only the leftovers, if there are any, are spent doing what we love. But we have the power to change those decisions. I'll end this section by articulating what financial independence means to me. I live to be financially free so that I can spend more time with my wife and my daughter. My daughter is 2 years old, and I want to be able to bike her to first grade rather than be stuck in traffic commuting while she gets herself to school. And I want to be able to spend daily quality time with my wife, beyond the date nights we get once every other week when we both work full time. Even if I don't have the latest iPhone and my car is more than 5 years old, financial independence will allow me to get the quality time and develop the quality relationships I want to.